A speech title.
Do I have what?
A speech title?
Yes, it's called procrastination.
Then I would like to introduce Yaz with the speech. Procrastination.
Are you a procrastinator? Raise your hand if you are. Did you know that recent researchers have found that procrastination is a psychological disorder and procrastinators will receive electrical therapy in the near future? I see a lot of terrified procrastinators' faces. But don't worry about it, because I just made that up. But if you are a procrastinator, I want to comfort you. And I want to let you know that you are just a drop in an ocean of procrastinators. Surveys done by two leading experts in psychology, Dr. Joseph Ferrari, Associate Professor in DePaul University, and Tim Pickle, Associate Professor in Carleton University, have found that 85 to 95% of students having problems associated with procrastination. But not just that. According to Dr. Ferrari, 20% of US men and women are chronic procrastinators. That means 65 million out of 325 million people in the US are procrastinating on a daily basis. But don't we all want to stop procrastinating? If you want to stop procrastinating, say aye.
Aye.
Great, but before we learn how to stop procrastinating, we first have to learn what procrastination is. According to Pierce Steele, author of the book, The Procrastination Equation, procrastination is the voluntarily delay an intended course of action despite expecting to be worse off for the delay. Procrastination can also be defined as doing non-important tasks, more enjoyable tasks, such as playing video games or watching the dancing llama videos instead of doing important tasks such as homework. But isn't this weird? Knowing that we have important tasks to do, but we voluntarily choose to do non-important tasks, doesn't this make you think, why do we procrastinate in the first place?
Well, we procrastinate because we're always interrupted.
Jack,
Well, I've got some answers for you today.
Jack, it's supposed to be for Vicky's speech.
Oh, okay.
One of the
Moving right along.
One of the unusual, but yet scientific reasons to why we procrastinate is stress. According to Mel Robbins, author of the book, The 5 Seconds Rule, procrastination is a form of stress relief. When you have something going on in your life, such as a divorce, a breakup, a sick family member, and you have a list of important things to do, such as homework, that requires engaging your prefrontal cortex. What happens then, your prefrontal cortex goes like, oh my God, I was just worried about all of the stress going in your life, and now you want me to do homework? Give me a break. Let's watch some cat videos. Then, and then before you even know it, 2 hours are gone. The second reason why we procrastinate is the lack of focus and fatigue. In our new world, distraction is everywhere. TVs, social media, cell phones, it is almost impossible to avoid distraction. But being distracted 90% of the time leads to fatigue. By the end of the day, all of these distracting things around us have absorbed our energy and left us with no energy to take care of important tasks. So what do? We postpone them. And we say, I will rest today so I can have more energy to do this tomorrow. But what happens then, tomorrow comes, but the same circle repeats itself, and these tasks never get done. The last reason why we procrastinate is not knowing where to start. Personally, this is my #1 trigger for procrastination. When we don't know where to start something, we tend to put it aside and do less important tasks. Or we just put it aside thinking that we'll figure it out later. But the reality is, we're just pushing away a stressful task and replacing it with a more pleasurable one. And this takes us back to the very first reason why we procrastinate, which is stress relief. Now that we talked about what procrastination is and why we procrastinate, it is time to talk about how to deal with procrastination. The very first approach is pretty simple, but highly effective, which is removing procrastination triggers from your environment. Because the most powerful way to change your behavior is to change your environment. Therefore, a distraction-free environment will help you reduce your procrastination behavior. The second way to deal with it is by breaking long projects into small manageable tasks. You have to ignore the big picture, because dwelling on how big a task is will do nothing but trigger your stress. And once your stress is present, your prefrontal cortex will start naming all of these other pleasurable tasks that you might be doing instead. The last approach, which is forgiving yourself. You have to be gentle with yourself, and don't beat yourself up over the past. Thoughts such as, I'm always procrastinating, I'm such a loser, will do nothing but discourage you and drain your energy. Instead, you have to use your previous procrastination in your advantage by remembering the stress that occurred the last time you procrastinated and you left things to the last minute. To summarize, we talked about what procrastination is, why do we procrastinate, and how to deal with procrastination. But most of us, let's say almost 90% of us, have procrastination as our biggest enemy. And the more we learn about it, the better we'll be able to overcome it. Thank you.